Now that we know the general change we want to make, we need to choose a metric to measure that change. For the current version of our hypothesis, we didn't really talk about how to measure whether changing the color scheme was an improvement. What Audacity ultimately cares about is how many people actually complete courses, so one possible metric is total number of courses completed. However, given that it can take students weeks or months to finish courses, using this metric would simply take too much time to be practical. An alternative is how many users actually click on the Start Now button. The assumption is that if more people click the button and thus move on to exploring the site, then eventually some of them will create an account and go on to complete a course. In other words, increasing the rate at which users progress down the funnel at one level will have a positive impact on the end of the funnel as well. Can you think of any problems with counting clicks? What happens if more total users view the page in one version of the experiment? Suppose these dots are the total number of visitors in each group of the experiment, and the yellow dots are the ones who clicked. More total clicks occurred in this version, but there was a greater percentage of clicks in this version. So instead, we could use the fraction of page visitors who click. That is, the number of clicks on the View Courses button divided by the number of page views to the home page. This metric is commonly called click-through rate, or CTR. There's also a closely related metric, which many people also refer to as click-through rate, but I'll call it click-through probability. Click-through probability is defined as the number of unique visitors who click at least once, divided by the number of unique visitors who view the page. To see how these two metrics are different, suppose you have a web page and two users visit the home page. The first leaves without clicking the Start Now button, which means they clicked 0 times, and the second person clicks 5 times. Maybe the next page loaded slowly, so the user impatiently clicked 5 times. In this case, the click-through rate equals 2.5, since there were 5 total clicks and 2 total page views. But the click-through probability equals 0.5, since half the users who visited the page clicked. Rates and probabilities have different characteristics, which we'll talk about further in Lesson 3. For the purpose of this lesson, we're going to use click-through probability as our metric, and not click-through rate. Given this, our updated hypothesis is that we will increase the click-through probability of the button. And we assume that that will ultimately increase the final business metric, which is total courses completed.